Hi everyone, my name is Allison Grosz. I'm an attorney and a partner with Hemrick O'Malley, PLLC in New York City. Today I want to talk about some recent trends that not only has our office been seen happening before the immigration courts, but what we have also heard from incoming clients and other attorneys related to some trends that are happening, specifically with respect to the Department of Homeland Security's arguments that they're making in court against people who otherwise have very valid and very strong cases for asylum. Let me break this down for you. The Department of Homeland Security is now making certain arguments before the Immigration Court as well as the Board of Immigration Appeals against people's cases for asylum who have always otherwise had fairly strong claims for protection under asylum. The Department of Homeland Security's recent trends in the arguments that they're making against people's asylum status in court is specifically making arguments to the judge and the Board of Immigration Appeals that a person isn't eligible for asylum based on being barred from eligibility for asylum on a technical reason. And the technical reason that we've been seeing a trend in is they're claiming that people have provided material support to registered terrorist organizations. Now, this, of course, is a very serious accusation and one that would normally bar somebody from receiving asylum in the United States. However, the reason that is being provided by DHS for people having provided material support to a registered terrorist organization is not traditionally anything that any judge or any reasonable person would argue is actually providing material support. As an example, DHS is now arguing that a person who was extorted for money under duress because they have been threatened with the life or the safety of themselves or their family if they do not give money, i.e. extortion, to the registered terrorist organization. It is now being argued by DHS that being extorted for that money and admitting that you've been extorted for that money is admitting to your material support of a registered terrorist organization. Another example is our government, the Department of Homeland Security, making the argument that a religious group that is designated as a terrorist organization by another government, such as the Chinese government, designating certain religious or Christian groups as registered terrorist organizations as part of their well-established propaganda scheme against religious organizations in general. Well, now our government is claiming that if a person is a member of that otherwise accepted, established religious organization worldwide, now they are a member of a registered terrorist organization because their government has now registered that group as a terrorist organization, and therefore we are claiming, according to the Department of Homeland Security, that this person who's part of this religious group that was persecuted and is now seeking asylum is actually part of a terrorist organization and therefore is ineligible under the material support bar. So with this being said, we can see these recent trends in arguments that the Department of Homeland Security is making against people's otherwise very strong and very well established in those strengths claims for protection in the United States. This does not mean that judges and the Board of Immigration Appeals are going to agree with the Department of Homeland Security's arguments. However, it is extremely important to be prepared for these arguments to be made in court, to be able to counter these arguments with well-established case law and legal precedent in the United States against these arguments, and of course have an experienced immigration attorney on your side and fighting for your rights. We here at Hemrick O'Malley represent people every day in their asylum claims before the Asylum Office as well as before the Immigration Court and the Board of Immigration Appeals. We're happy to answer questions about this and to answer questions about any other immigration matter. You can find us online at hemrick.law, or you can reach us by phone at 833-848-7838. And until next time, I look forward to talking to everyone soon.